Well, welcome to the Museum of American Fencing. Today I want to focus a little bit on some of these trophies and silver cups that are behind me. Many of these trophies belong to the U.S. Fencing Association. Some of them belong to me. And of course, most of them I'm going to end up donating to the U.S. Fencing Association anyway. So, going back in time, because I want to tell you something about some of these trophies. And many of these trophies were actually made and purchased or donated by the Robert Stoll Company, S-T-O-L-L, in Lower Manhattan. They were founded in 1885, and Robert Stoll was a multi-year national champion in what they called the flying rings. Now it's just known as rings. He was a member of the New York Athletic Club, and of course both the Amateur Athletic Union and our organization, then called the AFLA, the Amateur Fencers League of America, were both founded in the New York Athletic Club. So Robert Stoll in 1885 developed his silver engraving trophies and medals company in Lower Manhattan. And this became they were the main donor of medals for years and years and years and years. Really going probably maybe 60 years. So if we take a trophy like this is the J. Sanford Saltus Trophy, okay? It was donated in 1906. Now, John Sanford Saltus was a famous Francophile. He was a fencer, but he was also from a very wealthy family. His father owned a steel company, and he was the major stockholder in Bank of America around 1900. Now, of course, he never worked, and he traveled around. He was purchasing coins all over the world and donating them to places. Now, Mr. Saltus was so involved with French things, he supported the French YMCA, named the Saltus Fencing Club. He donated the Joan of Arc statue on Riverside Drive. And this trophy, he donated in 1906. Now, if we look at this is the F-18 trophy for the United States. And if we look at the first year it was awarded, 1906, the men were Dr. Sam McCullough, this is the New York Athletic Club, won the trophy the first year. Then Dr. Graham Hammond, who was the founder of the U.S. Fencing Association and the president of the AFLA for 34 consecutive years. And Charles Boatner. Charles Boatner was a piano maker and is the only man in history to win the national championships in all three weapons in the same year. That was in 1897. So this trophy was donated in 1906. 1906 is the first year that team championships occurred in our league. By the way, Mr. Saltus here, he died in Paris in a hotel while he was cleaning coins. And he ordered a ginger ale from the hotel front lobby. And supposedly it was, I think, potassium chloride he was using. He drank from the wrong cup and died. All right? So this is the Saltus Cup. It is the property of our league, and it is handed out at the national championships. All right. Another trophy here. This is the trophy that is given out to the foil champion of our league each year. And you can notice over here, you can see here's a picture of Carl Borak in 1969 with Mel North holding the trophy. I also have another picture here of Silvio Giolito holding it in 1950. And that was taken at the New York Athletic Club. Now this trophy is named for John Allaire. It was donated in 1938. Now I have a picture of John Allaire right over here. John Allaire actually fenced for the New York Turnverein. For those of you who don't know, Turnvereins were all over the country. Cincinnati, all the cities in America had Turnvereins. And the Turner movement really came from Germany in the 1800s, came to America when they emigrated to New York mostly, and then spread all over the country with these sports movement. Now John Allaire was the bout committee chairman for the United States Fencing Association for 25 years. And he attended every single tournament of those 25 years. To give you an example, I happen to have an original AFLA schedule of events for 1928. And there were over 20 events you can see here. He attended every single one as the bout committee chairman. And he did this for every year for 25 years. He was also a medalist in all three weapons. And you can see him holding, he has a silver medal on there as an epéist. Note that he's also wearing two gloves. Many men wore two gloves in those years. Now, John Allaire died in 1937. As an interesting side story of how he got started. he attended a play when he was a young boy, and in the play was a famous actor named Edwin Booth. And Edwin Booth, of course, is the brother of John Wilkes Booth. And John Wilkes Booth, not a very popular figure, but Edwin Booth was a great actor and a great swordsman. And when John Allaire saw Edwin Booth in a play, that is what started him fencing. And he became a legendary man in fencing, and unfortunately died in 1937. He was 80 years old and was active until then. And that is the John Allaire Memorial Trophy for foil. Then over here, we have the Epee Cup. This was donated in 1940, and it is named for William Scott O'Connor, one of the great champions and founding fathers of the United States Fencing Association. Donated in 1940, and I believe this is also Robert Stoll. I'm going to check to see. Yeah, this one is Howard & Company, 1897. So this did not come from Robert Stoll. Howard & Company. And that is the Epee Cup. And you can see there's Skip Shirts up there holding the cup. We have a picture of Lee Shelley over on this side. Come on over here. And you can see Lee Shelley holding the cup over there. And so, just to show you a couple of the men we have posed here. All right. And over here we have one of the great three-weapon fencers. This is the Sherman Hall Trophy for the National Saber Team, won very frequently by New York Athletic Club and New York Fencers Club. Sherman Hall's nickname was the Kid. He actually quit fencing after multiple, like 15 titles, because he wanted to study chess more often. But Sherman Hall is named for this trophy. And here we have the two women's trophies. These were donated in 1940. Many events in U.S. fencing still don't have trophies, but we're working our way towards that. And here's a great cup that was won by Harold Rayner, who's a three-time Olympian. And he won this in Paris in 1923. And this is a trophy I intend to donate to U.S. fencing. This was won in Paris, and of course the 24 Olympics were in Paris that year. Over here I've got a trophy that I purchased on the internet, Fencers Club of Philadelphia. And this was won in 1915 by Dorothy Barnes, one of the great Philadelphia fencers. By the way, over here you can see the gold medal won by Jason Rogers. This is the FIE gold medal for the Pan Am Games for Sabre individual in 2009. And of course the U.S. won the Sabre team as well. This is the team medal that Jason gave us for that. And just various other medals here from the Fencing Association. And well, thank you for coming and seeing some of our stuff tonight. And look forward to showing you more medals and events in the future.